Hello, everybody. We're going to jump into our Devo for today as we continue to look at Ephesians and kind of look at that challenge that Jesus gave the church in Sardis to stay alert. To stay alert. Yesterday we read verse 15. Today we're going to read verse 16. All right, 15 tells us to pay attention and how we live and how we walk. 16 says, making the most of the time because the days are evil. Sometimes especially in summertime, it can feel like the days go on and sometimes we get bored, right? I think boredom is a great opportunity. That's what I tell my kids when they say, "Oh, I'm bored." This is a great way for you to use your imagination, to use your time, and use your brain a little bit. Figure it out, problem solve. But even though we look at our day sometimes and we feel like, oh, it's so long, when we compare it to our time here on earth, it's very short. The time that we have is very limited, um, very much numbered, and the scripture here says to make the most of the time. And so we as Christians are called to use our time, to use our time purposefully, intentionally. That's part of paying attention and paying careful attention is utilizing this resource of time that we have. Um, because we're supposed to fulfill our God given purpose and bring God glory in our time here. And honestly, it can be easy for us to put things off, to procrastinate. Oh, let me put that off tomorrow. I can check TikTok, learn, get on social media, do those kind of things, play some video games. Those things, a lot of times, are easier for us to do than maybe that hard conversation that we need to have with a friend, or we need to share the gospel with somebody. And sometimes we can find ourselves pushing off the things that God tells us to do for sometimes the much easier things to do. And so we have to be careful because tomorrow becomes next week, and then it becomes next month, and then it becomes never. And so we got to live with a sense of urgency as Christians. We got to live with a sense of purpose with our time. And so I think we need to take hold of what this verse is telling us is making the most of the time. And that's not about like living life to the fullest to where I'm just like doing all the things that cause me to have pleasure and be happy. It is using our time in a useful way for the Lord and thinking about how I use my time. Man, taking a break, playing video games, being silly, that's part of life and needs to be done. But we need to make sure that life isn't just chasing fun time after fun time, that we are actually using our time and using what God has given us, our life, to bring Him glory, to help other people come to know Jesus, to build the relationships, build strong, lasting, close relationships with people. That takes work, that takes energy. Um, and so, we got to think about when do we procrastinate and how we do that, and why it's important to make the most of every day, because we're not always guaranteed tomorrow. We're not always guaranteed tomorrow, but we can make the most of the time we have. And so we part of that is being very intentional about it. And so don't put off what God is calling you to do today.